Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let me repeat, the United States is currently at war in Iran, the United States joining Israel, apparently with no other allies. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace, exclamation point. U.S. and Israel, Donald Trump, Netanyahu against Iran. Donald Trump just posts, I will be giving an address to the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific at the White House.
Iran's nuclear sites are on fire, and Trump claims it's an historic moment. But here's the kicker. Congress wasn't even invited to the war party. We're breaking down how Trump's secret operation could spark chaos far beyond the Middle East. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. 3 Iranian nuclear sites bombed with zero heads up to Congress. It sounds like a rejected Hollywood script, doesn't it? But no, this is real life, and the leading man is none other than Donald Trump. Fordo, Natanz, Esfahan, 3 critical components of Iran's nuclear infrastructure, all reduced to rubble in what Trump calls an historic success. And while the internet is busy debating whether the explosions were lit by B-2 stealth bombers or GBU-57 bunker-busting bombs, one detail can't be ignored. Congress wasn't RSVP'd to this war. Here's where it gets awkward.
All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. U.S. and Israel, Donald Trump, Netanyahu against Iran. Donald Trump just posts, I will be giving an address to the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific at the White House. In my mind, of when George W. Bush went on the ship and had the mission accomplished regarding our very successful military operation in Iran. This is an historic moment, this is all in caps now, for the United States of America, Israel, and the world.
Donald Trump, the guy who famously campaigned on ending forever wars in the Middle East, now has his name stamped on one of the boldest military escalations in recent memory. The operation was shrouded in secrecy so tight you'd think it was a Netflix thriller. Neither Congress, America's traditional allies, nor even UN watchdogs were tipped off. This move is miles away from the diplomacy we're used to hearing presidents preach. And yet, Trump stood tall, grinning like he just scored a hole-in-one at Mar-a-Lago. So what gives? How does the self-proclaimed deal maker justify blowing up reactors instead of brokering peace deals? What's even more striking is how America's military didn't just roll up in standard gear for this operation. Reports suggest high-tech electronic warfare played a starring role. Communication jammers, GPS interference, and Navy EA-18G growlers adding another invisible layer to Iran's confusion. Imagine trying to organize damage control when your radio stopped working and your GPS leads you to the middle of nowhere. It's unclear if Israel lent a hand, but whispers of coordination are floating around. And you know what's missing? The rah-rah support from NATO or Europe.
We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let me repeat, the United States is currently at war in Iran, the United States joining Israel, apparently with no other allies. Iran must now agree to end this war. Thank you, exclamation point. So after attacking Iran, Donald Trump is saying it was a successful operation, a sign behind him, although that was not after the first few hours of an operation. Donald Trump also reposted open source intel account that says Fordo is gone.
It's almost like Trump showed up to the war party and forgot to bring guests. But destroying nuclear sites isn't like popping fireworks. Environmental contamination, radioactive fallout, and the looming threat of retaliation mean this isn't just a Middle East issue. It's a global one. Trump's boldness might just have lit a match over a powder keg. And here's the real question. Was this about protecting America or protecting Trump's image? Meanwhile, critics at home and abroad aren't staying quiet about it. Trump's dramatic announcement has the world buzzing, but not in a good way. Some are praising it as bold, others are calling it reckless. As for Congress, let's just say they're not out here giving standing ovations. Critics are swirling around Trump, questioning the constitutionality of his actions. Can a president really go full James Bond and launch strikes without telling anyone in the room where it happens? Let's just say the founding fathers probably didn't envision this level of executive freedom when they drafted the whole checks and balances thing. And then there's the bizarre mix of global reactions. Europe, usually quick to voice an opinion, has decided to ghost the situation entirely. Silent, nothing. Israel, on the other hand, is practically popping champagne, with reports suggesting they may have even played a backstage role. Meanwhile, Iran. Outrage doesn't even begin to cover it. Their leaders are already pushing the narrative that this was an unprovoked act of aggression. Those nuclear facilities were supposedly for peaceful purposes. A claim about as believable as Trump saying he's a stable genius.
Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace, ! And that Iran must now end the war after the United States just bombed Iran. It conjures images. We're learning some additional information about the strike as well. Reports out of Iran right now of some of the most heavy, wide spectrum jamming of the war.
So what's next on Iran's table of options? Retaliation seems likely, whether that's stepping up their nuclear ambitions or launching strikes of their own. They've hinted at both and are clearly ready to play hardball. But experts warn that the fallout, no pun intended, could go way beyond Iran. Imagine Saudi Arabia or even Russia getting dragged into the mess. Suddenly, it's not just a bad decision, it's a region-wide disaster. And here's the kicker. Many analysts think this wasn't about security at all. Was this Trump's Hail Mary to project strength ahead of whatever personal or political agenda he has brewing? Because if this backfires, the consequences don't stop at Trump's golf courses. Domestically, Americans are worried. What could retaliation look like in cities here? Internationally, America's one mistake from a mutiny reputation takes another blow. Even allies are asking whether the US is more combustible than the conflicts it's trying to resolve. What we do know is this move might have just rewritten the rules of foreign policy, for better or worse. But let's be honest, someone's going to pay for this decision eventually. So who's going to bear the cost? This isn't just about bombs hitting bunkers, it's about something far bigger. One president, one decision, no checks, no balances. Trump's move didn't just bypass Congress, it bypassed the democratic process entirely. And if that doesn't make you nervous, what will? This is a dangerous precedent, handing one individual the power to shift global stability like it's a game of Risk. So, what happens now? If Iran retaliates or pushes back, it could draw the entire region and potentially the world into chaos. Stay informed, stay vocal, because silence, that's exactly what gives unchecked power room to grow. The world's watching, so are we.